It's 4:37 on the 27th of October 2025. In the dark waters east of the Philippines, the USS Ronald Reagan picks up multiple fast-moving tracks. Alarms hammer through the carrier's decks. Sailors sprint to stations, boots slamming steel. Outside, orange flashes cut the pre-dawn horizon low. Cold plumes. The enemy is already firing. CIC screens bloom with red arcs slicing in from the west. A calm voice on net. General quarters, this is not a drill. Elevators whine. F-35C roll. Deck crews snap into chore. Below, the USS South Dakota turns into the threat and brings tubes hot. The ocean, moments ago a sheet of ink, becomes geometry ranges, bearings, time to impact. A Tomahawk hatch clacks, then another. Vampires, multiple, bearing 270. The ship breathes as one organism. Chaff and decoys stand by. LRASM crews check safeties. Somewhere ahead, a black hull prowls silent. Somewhere deeper, a cable we must cut keeps the enemy's ears alive. 7 minutes now decide if this task group holds or disappears. On a map, the Philippine Sea looks empty, but it's the throat of global trade. Tankers, cargo ships, and data cables stack over one another like lanes on a hidden freeway. Fuel for trucks in California, rice bound for Tokyo, microchips for phones, and F-35 avionics so much rides on water most Americans will never see. The USS Ronald Reagan and the attack submarine South Dakota exist to keep that flow moving. Their mission sounds simple: deter, defend, and strike first if needed. But simple never means easy at sea. Weeks before tonight, patrol planes and satellites flagged strange activity near Benham Rise. Autonomous gliders surfaced, then vanished. A survey ship lingered where none was planned. Analysts traced the pattern to a lattice on the sea floor, the Haiyan node, a deep ocean hub tying hydrophones and fiber lines into one listening web. Whoever owns Haiyan hears the deep like a city block. Washington's fear wasn't spying, it was leverage. If the PLA Navy could paint every U.S. submarine, the carrier would fight blind or stay home. Insurance rates would spike, cargo reroute, allies hedge, and the message would be clear: the Pacific silence belongs to Beijing. So the order came. Operation Silent Current. Cut Haiyan's cables and destroy the node before dawn. F-35C blind radars. Tomahawk Block V missiles. Punch corridors. LRASM hunt surface screens. And South Dakota silences anything below. One tight window. If it works, China's undersea network goes dark for 72 hours, enough for U.S. forces to move. If it fails, America hands over the ocean's map. As both sides reach for the same silence, one question hangs above the black water: whose version of order rules these lanes? If that choice were yours right now, press 1 for the crew holding the line, or 9 for the unseen hunters below. 4:48 hours. The radar watch calls out, multiple launches bearing 270. The CIC lights shift red, the carrier's decks blaze alive. All stations, incoming threats, prepare counterfire. Outside, the horizon flashes again, this time closer. Trails cut low across the sea, hugging waves to slip under radar. South Dakota confirms hostile torpedo tracks. The submarine's voice is calm, clipped, steady. In the dark below, she fires first Mk-48 ADCAP, 2 lines of silver vanishing into black. Above, the carrier's escorts answer with SM-6 interceptors, climbing fast into the rain-heavy sky. Seconds later, the horizon blooms white streaks, small suns. The air crackles with radar pulses as American missiles hunt Chinese launchers hiding beneath the clouds. On the flight deck, F-35C roar forward, engines screaming through salt and heat. Cat 1, launch! The first jet lifts off into a storm of digital noise, guided only by its helmet display. Pilots climb to altitude, scanning for the telltale heat of Type 93B submarines or the distant glow of HSU-001 drones breaking the surface. The strike group's task: protect the Ronald Reagan long enough for its strike wave to fire. At 4:56, the carrier launches its first Tomahawk Block 5 salvo. The missiles twist upward, then flatten out, racing east toward the coordinates of the Haiyan node. Each one carries a terrain-following brain skimming meters above the water, invisible to radar. If they hit, the entire Chinese undersea network in this region goes deaf. But the Chinese fleet is not passive. From over the horizon, HQ-9B missiles leap skyward, hunting the Tomahawks like wolves, chasing birds. The air war becomes a maze of intercepts, decoys, and jamming bursts. Every second counts. Each wrong move could expose the fleet's position. The bridge of Ronald Reagan shakes as shockwaves roll in from near hits. "Keep firing!" The captain's voice cuts through the static. "We hold the line until the note is gone." Across the command net, coordination is tight. U.S. destroyers form a living shield while F-35 relay data to keep gaps closed. And beneath it all, South Dakota dives deeper, sonar whispering the signature of an approaching enemy sub. Its crew knows, if they don't strike first, the next sound they'll hear will be their own hull tearing apart. 5-7 hours. The second wave hits. Smaller, faster, meaner. Chinese anti-ship drones skim the surface, using the sea's reflection to hide. The carrier's sensors strain to track them, signals flickering under electronic noise. Contact multiple, closing fast. A petty officer shouts over the hum of the CIC. The ocean looks calm, but it's a trap metal and code moving at bullet speed. USS Ronald Reagan banks slightly, changing heading by just 6 degrees. It's enough to narrow the threat corridor. 2 destroyers, Decatur and Shoup, swing wide to shield the carrier's flanks. The F-35C loop overhead, launching bursts of chaff to confuse incoming radar locks. Down below, South Dakota slides into the thermocline, using layers of cold water to mask her sonar profile. For a moment, silence feels like safety. It never lasts. On the western horizon, 3 bright dots break the dark. The enemy has fired again. Decatur responds with a wall of fire, phalanx CIWS guns roaring, tracers slicing orange arcs through the rain. One drone detonates midair. Another keeps coming, wobbling but alive. The ship rocks from its own gunfire. Inside the command center, tension cuts the air. Every screen shows red blips, shifting and multiplying. The captain of Ronald Reagan leans over the radar display. They're adapting. They know our timing. The order follows. Switch to local control, CIWS manual override. The gunners lock in. When the next swarm breaks the horizon, the carrier itself becomes the last line of defense. Explosions flash close enough to rattle teeth. Debris rains down like metallic hail. And still, the attacks keep coming shorter intervals, smarter maneuvers. Down below, South Dakota detects a new ping, an active sonar pulse from deep ahead. A hostile submarine is hunting them. The sonar chief mutters, "He's ranging us." The captain answers, "Not for long." Tubes flood, gyros spin, and torpedoes hum toward the noise. Somewhere ahead, another unseen crew hears the same whisper in reverse. The Pacific has become a chessboard with no squares left. Every move draws blood. Every second trades risk for survival. And for those watching from safe shores, one question hangs heavier than any wave. Who will outlast the storm press, 1 for the fleet fighting in the open, or 9 for the predators waiting in the dark? 5-19 hours. The sea goes quiet, not calm, just waiting. Then the twist hits. A new contact flashes on radar, low, close, too fast to tag. "That's not a drone," says the air controller. "It's skimming the surface." Seconds later, 5 more appear, darting like silver knives above the waves. These aren't the old HSU-001. They're smaller, stealth-coated, near-silent. New model Sea Lancers, the plan's latest trick. The Ronald Reagan turns to face them, engines roaring. Automated defenses can't lock fast enough. The targets are too small, too smart. The carrier's air wing, mid-refuel, is caught off guard. "Scramble, standby, birds!" The deck officer yells as crews sprint through heat and spray to relaunch fighters. Every second lost means one more drone closing in. Below, South Dakota tracks something stranger, short acoustic bursts, like coded clicks echoing through the deep. "That's not sonar," the operator mutters. "It's communication." The drones aren't acting alone, they're linked to something under the surface. A second submarine. The captain doesn't hesitate. Fire countermeasures. Full spread. Decoys eject. spiraling bubbles into the black. Torpedoes slice upward 3, maybe 4. Water erupts. One explosion slams the hull. Lights flicker. Alarms wail. The crew braces through the shock. On the surface, Reagan's gunners catch one Sea Lancer in their sights. The CIWS opens up, shredding it mid-run, scattering fire and metal. But 2 others slip through. A shockwave thunders across the bow. Deck plates quake. Smoke rolls through narrow halls. And as the waves close over the shattered drones, one truth echoes through the command net. The enemy is learning faster than anyone expected. 5:33 hours. The storm and battle blend into one. Rain lashes the decks, mixing with smoke and sea spray. Every alarm screams. The Ronald Reagan rides heavy swells, her hull groaning under the strain. In the dim red light of the CIC, the captain orders, "All batteries fire at will." Above the carrier, F-35C dart through lightning flashes, firing their last LRASM toward the horizon. Each missile leaves a glowing arc before vanishing into the storm. Seconds later, impact. Distant flashes mark hits on Chinese ships, but no one cheers. More contacts move in on radar. Below, South Dakota hunts by instinct. Its sonar hears the faint hum of the second submarine hiding behind wrecks. "Target locked," the sonar chief whispers. "Fire." 2 torpedoes glide away, silent and patient. Minutes later, a deep thud rolls through the sea, followed by a burst of air and debris that shakes even the carrier above. But not the last. New signals spike another wave of Sea Lancers, coming from 2 directions. The fleet's CIWS guns light up, tracers carving orange paths through rain and smoke. Explosions ripple across the surface, lighting the storm like camera flashes from an unseen crowd. A direct hit slams the carrier's port bow. Fire floods a hangar deck. Crews scramble to contain it. Sealed bulkheads reroute power. The ship lists 2 degrees, but holds. In the chaos, an F-35C pilot, out of ammo, dives low to draw enemy radar. His voice is steady. "I've got one more pass." He fires, flares, the drones bite, and vanish in the fireball behind him. For one breathless minute, the storm drowns the war. Then, one by one, the red blips fade. The Sea Lancers are gone. Silence returns, not peace, but survival. Damage control teams trace the scars. Buckled plating, scorched wiring, a flooded compartment sealed tight. Med crews treat burns and smoke, choked lungs, counting every saved breath. On deck, soaked sailors stare into the rain. Some cheer softly, others just breathe. The captain watches the horizon, voice low. 72 hours, that's all we've bought. The words settle like ballast heavy, necessary. Beyond the smoke, another fleet is already regrouping. The Pacific feels vast again and waiting. If you follow this far, the ocean has already chosen its fighters. Press 1 for the crews who held the line, or 9 for the hunters waiting to strike again. Dawn breaks gray over the Philippine Sea. Smoke drifts low across the waves, mingling with the scent of salt and fuel. What's left of the strike group circles slowly, the sea littered with debris, drone fragments, shattered panels, the wreckage of victory bought too high. On Ronald Reagan's flight deck, sailors move in silence. They patch steel with steel, clear the fires that still burn inside hangars. A few aircraft remain combat capable. Most sit wounded, marked with soot and salt. The carrier itself lists slightly, a scar visible from miles away. Yet it still floats, and that means the mission stands. South Dakota surfaces nearby, her hull blackened but intact. The crew climbs topside, faces drawn and pale under the rising light. They've survived the pressure, the silence, and the kill zone of the deep. For now, the ocean releases them. Word from command filters through. Operation Silent Current success confirmed. The Haiyan node destroyed. For 72 hours, China's deep-sea network is blind. American forces hold the initiative for now, but the victory is thin, fragile like ice on deep water. The cost is written across every ship that limps home. In the wardroom, the captain reviews the damage reports. His voice stays level. "We did what we came to do." He looks out the window, watching the morning light break over broken seas. Next time, he says quietly. "They'll come smarter." Radio chatter hums in the background, news networks, allies, analysts, already framing what happened. Some call it deterrence, others escalation. For the sailors who fought here, it's neither. It's survival measured in seconds, in steel, in luck. The camera pulls back gray ships, gray sky, a horizon that hides what's next. The Pacific looks calm again, but calm never lasts. If you stood on that deck, watching the smoke fade and the sun rise, which future would you choose? Press 1 for those who fought to hold the line, or 9 for those preparing the next strike beneath the waves. It's 9:40 local time, October 21st, 2025. Over the Western Pacific, east of Luzon, the USS Ronald Reagan strike group suddenly picks up 2 unknown radar tracks fast, closing from the northwest. Alarms echo through steel corridors. Pilots sprint for their Super Hornets. On deck, jet engines scream to life. Outside, the early sunlight flashes off the waves as 2 J-16 fighters cut in low, fast, armed. Within seconds, contrails streak across the sky, missiles already inbound. The carrier's escorts USS Milius and USS Shiloh turn hard to intercept. CIC calls out bearing and range updates every 3 seconds. Sparks fly as CIWS turrets warm up. Crewmen strap in, hands shaking but steady. On the command deck, officers watch radar icons merge and split friend or foe, life or death, flashing in green and red. The sea is calm, the tension anything but. Radios crackle, weapons free. The next minute will decide whether this fleet survives or burns. The Western Pacific isn't just open water, it's the artery of global trade. Every ship that passes through these lanes carries the fuel, food, and goods that keep homes, markets, and cities alive. That's why the USS Ronald Reagan and her escorts are here standing watch, ensuring the sea stays open for everyone. But this morning, that calm routine snaps. 2 Chinese J-16 cross the invisible line, meant to keep distance between powers. For Washington, it's a direct challenge. For Beijing, it's a test of resolve. And for everyone aboard these ships, it's suddenly personal. Each radar ping now carries weight. A wrong decision could turn a warning into war. The carrier's air wing launches Super Hornets and Growlers roaring into formation. The E-2D Hawkeye climbs higher, its radar sweeping wide arcs for any hidden threat. Sailors whisper quiet prayers between clipped orders. They've drilled for this 100 times, but no drill captures the sound of a missile tone in your headset or the shaking deck under full alert. In the Combat Information Center, red lights flash against faces tense but calm. Track confirmed. Weapons tight. The strike group moves like one heartbeat, each destroyer locking its sector, each cruiser ready to intercept. Out here, seconds equal survival, and hesitation kills. The ocean feels endless, yet every man and woman on deck knows how small this patch of steel really is. Now picture yourself standing among them, enemy blips closing fast, the radio crackling for permission to fire. What would you do? Hold your shot and hope restraint wins the day, or strike first and end the threat before it begins? Tell us what you'd choose. Press 1 to hold the line, or 9 to fire first. Let's see which instinct speaks louder, discipline or defense. 9:47, 7 minutes since the first contact. The E-2D Hawkeye locks onto 2 fast-moving targets, Chinese J-16, now well inside the carrier group's air defense bubble. Hostile confirmed. The order echoes through the fleet. USS Milius and USS Shiloh switch to combat mode. Vertical launch cells open, smoke hissing out as the first SM-2 missiles streak into the sky. The destroyer's radars track each incoming shot, guiding them with precision. Seconds later, 2 bright flashes bloom in the distance, mid-air detonations. Cheers rise briefly, but no one relaxes. The J-16 dive, dropping chaff and flares before releasing their PL-12 air-to-air missiles aimed straight at the Hawkeye's radar eye. It's a high-value kill, blinding the fleet if it goes down. The E-2D banks hard, countermeasures flaring, while the Milius launches another SM-2 to intercept. A heartbeat later impact. A white sphere of smoke bursts across the sky. missile fragments scattering. The Hawkeye escapes by a few seconds. Below, the sea churns as Chinese warships, one Type 052D destroyer and one Type 54 Amperes frigate join the attack. Radar operators call out new tracks, YJ-83 and YJ-12 anti-ship missiles inbound, multiple bearings. The USS Decatur and USS Lake Erie respond instantly, firing ESSMs and SM-3 interceptors. It's a storm of vapor trails, crossing like spears in the morning light. The first wave explodes far out. The second wave comes lower, skimming the water. CIWS Phalanx turrets roar, filling the air with tracer fire. Every gunner knows the math miss once, and a billion-dollar ship goes under. Sparks rain from the barrels, the rhythm of survival hammering through steel and heartbeats. On the flight deck, crewmen duck beneath spinning jet exhaust as Super Hornets roar down the catapults. Clear to launch! The deck shakes, bolts rattling loose. Above, EA-18G Growlers jam enemy radars, slicing invisible noise through the sky. The ocean horizon flickers with explosions white, orange, and blue. Over the radio, one comm command cuts through the chaos. All ships, maintain defense grid, prepare counterstrike. The voice is calm, steady, practiced. Beneath it, everyone feels the same pulse. The battle has only just begun. 9:56. The radar screens glow red with new contacts, more inbound missiles, lower and faster. The first wave was only the opening act. Chinese launchers aboard the crippled Type 052D fire again, while drones rise from its deck, small and fast, swarming toward the fleet. Multiple bogies bearing 095. The call crackles across the net. USS Lake Erie and USS Decatur shift formation, closing ranks to shield the carrier. The Reagan's deck becomes a controlled storm jets launching, others landing with scorched tails. Every 30 seconds, another aircraft catapults off. The coordination is razor tight. One mistake could end in fire. CIC officers bark short commands, no wasted words. Sector 3 engage. SM-2 leaps skyward once more, their exhaust blinding against the dawn. The second Chinese frigate, already hit, still fights back. YJ-12 sliced through sea mist, skimming barely above the waves. ESSMs launch and reply 1, 2, 3, each guided by radar locks and sheer instinct. On the bridge, the captain orders a 10-degree turn to starboard enough to reduce the ship's radar cross-section. The hull groans, spray lashes the deck. Suddenly, one missile breaks through the outer defenses. The CIWS mounts rotate, screaming to life. Tracer rounds fill the air, glowing red-hot. The missile disintegrates just short of impact debris raining across the bow like metallic hail. A cheer erupts, brief and raw, but the crew knows it's not over. The radio bursts alive again. Enemy launch detected shore battery heading west. A DF-21D ballistic missile, fired from far inland, arcs high above the clouds. The fleet braces. USS Shiloh's crew readies the SM-3 interceptors, their last and highest shield. The missile fires bright as sunrise and climbs. Everyone holds their breath. Silence, then a flash impact confirmed. The DF-21D is gone. The sea falls quiet for the first time in 20 minutes. Yet the air still hums with tension, thick and electric. If you were in that command room, would you press forward or hold the line after that near hit? Comment your choice below. Press 1 to stand firm or 9 to strike back harder. The next move decides who owns the Pacific sky. 10-5. The sky over the Pacific clears for a heartbeat. Then the unexpected happens. Radar operators detect a swarm of small, low-signature contacts emerging from behind the debris field. Not missiles this time, unmanned sea-skimming drones, fast and coordinated, moving like a pack of predators. They weave through radar clutter, too small for long-range interceptors. The twist has arrived. New contacts, 30 plus, someone shouts. The system can't lock all of them. USS Decatur and USS Milius switch from missile defense to gun mode. 5-inch cannons thunder, hurling shells into the horizon. The CIWS mounts spin again, tracking one drone after another. But the swarm splits half, diving toward the cruisers. the rest circling low toward the carrier. On the flight deck, pilots spot the white wake slicing toward them. It feels unreal. Machines the size of cars, skimming the ocean at blistering speed. Super Hornets dive to intercept, firing short bursts from their cannons. One drone explodes in a flash, but two more slip through, relentless. Inside CIC, the air is electric. Officers shout over the noise, juggling radar feeds and weapon control. Shift power to forward defenses. The Growlers jam the enemy links, flooding control signals with noise. For a moment, the swarm hesitates. Some drones lose guidance and slam into the sea. Others keep coming faster than ever. A deep shudder runs through the Reagan as one drone detonates barely 100 meters off the bow, sending a wall of seawater across the deck. Lights flicker. The crew holds steady, soaked, and silent. The Pacific roars around them, but no one knows if that blast was the last or just the beginning. 10, 14. The battle reaches knife range. Smoke rolls across the sea like storm clouds. The last wave of drones and missiles closes in, low and lethal. Every ship fires at once. Guns, missiles, countermeasures all layered into a wall of steel and flame. The air smells of cordite and salt. Every second is survival. USS Milius takes the lead, guns blazing. Her phalanx turrets spit hundreds of rounds per second, tracing red arcs through the smoke. Two drones explode midair. Another slams into the water, detonating in a boiling flash. The bridge shudders but stays intact. The crew moves like clockwork, calm, drilled, fearless. A new alert cuts through the noise. Incoming 5, YJ-12, bearing 180. The missiles roar in from the south, sea-skimming and weaving. USS Shiloh launches her last two SM-3 interceptors. They rise like silver spears, locking on fast. One finds its mark impact at altitude. The second misses. 3 missiles remain. Prepare CIWS. Brace for close intercept. The order blares over loudspeakers. On the deck of the Reagan, sailors crouch behind barriers as tracers rip overhead. The ship lists under the recoil of its guns. One missile bursts apart under concentrated fire. Another grazes the hull, shockwaves rattling every bulkhead. Then silence breaks again. A flash. One YJ-12 slips through, screaming toward the carrier's starboard side. Time slows. Every gun swings as one. The phalanx opens up, spitting a river of fire. The missile disintegrates in midair, fragments hammering the sea in molten rain. Cheers erupt across the ship. Some cry, some just stare. They're alive. The sea is littered with wreckage, metal shards, burning fuel, drifting silence. Over the comms, voices check in one by one. All ships operational, no losses. For a moment, the Pacific is still. The adrenaline drains away, leaving shaking hands and stunned faces. No one celebrates, they just breathe. Above them, the sun breaks through the smoke. The Reagan's flag still flies, torn but standing. The surviving Chinese ships turn away, retreating east. Victory but a heavy one. The ocean itself feels like it's holding its breath. If you were in command now, staring at the retreating enemy and the burning sea, would you chase them down or hold position? Drop your choice below, press 1 to pursue or 9 to hold the line. Because sometimes, the hardest fight begins the moment the shooting stops. 10:40. The sea that burned minutes ago is calm again. Smoke lingers over the wrecks, drifting east with the wind. On the Reagan's deck, sailors walk among scattered shell casings and scorched metal, their faces streaked with salt and soot. The adrenaline is gone, but the silence feels heavier than the fight itself. The radio chatter softens. All ships accounted for, no casualties. Relief ripples quietly through the fleet. Yet beneath that relief lies something colder, the realization that this wasn't just a skirmish. It was a message, broadcast in missiles and fire. China's ships retreat beyond radar range, damaged but defiant. Somewhere inland, new signatures flicker, mobile launchers repositioning, satellites shifting orbits. The Pacific looks vast again, but everyone aboard knows how small it just became. The distance between deterrence and open war has never felt thinner. Inside the Reagan's Combat Information Center, the lights dim. Maps update, contact lines fade, and for the first time in hours, no one speaks. Then, the captain breaks the silence. "We held the line today, but the next one won't wait as long." His voice is steady, but his eyes don't leave the horizon. In Washington, analysts will call it a victory. In Beijing, state media will call it restraint. Out here, it feels like balance on the edge of a knife, one spark away from chaos. The ocean carries echoes of what just happened, a warning written in static and salt. Above, the sky shifts from orange to deep gray. The sun dips behind the wrecks, and the sea swallows the last traces of fire. The crew stands at the rails, watching the light fade from the battlefield they just survived. Some whisper prayers, others stare into the endless blue, wondering how long it will last. If you were watching this from the bridge, would you see this as peace kept or peace postponed? Comment your view. Press 1 if you believe the peace held, or 9 if you think it's only the calm before the next storm. The ocean is silent again. But somewhere beneath that stillness, the next move is already forming.